What's up, everybody? Cloudchord back here. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to fatten your guitar tone inside Ableton Live. But before I do that, I want to remind you this Friday, May 15th, my new album Reverence is out, 10 new songs. And if you click on the pre-save link below, you can register to win a free 60-minute lesson with me. Let's make it happen. All right, so I've been doing guitars inside Ableton Live for over 10 years, and here's 5 tricks that I've learned on how to fatten up your tone. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Let's just listen to it on its own. Little wah-wah thing. Cool. Second phrase is just a variation on that. So, it sounds pretty good, right? But check this out. If I duplicate it, and then on the second track, I am going to transpose it down 12 semitones and put it into complex warp mode. Here we go. And so you can kind of just test out the volume there. And one thing I might also do is cut out some of the lows of this octave down, because it can clutter up your mix, especially if you have drums and keys and all that kind of stuff. Real simple way to do that, just throw an auto filter on here. Put your frequency at 250. So our new track, Isolated, sounds like this. One other hack for this, I try to get rid of the reverb on the lows. The reverb is actually burned into this stem. So if you have standard or sweet, you can grab drum bus and check out the transients and dial it to the left. Takes out a bunch of your reverb. Versus, hear that tail, gets rid of a lot of your tail. Together, let's A-B it. Cool, and you can see even that bend was pretty accurate because I was in complex mode. Cool, so that's number 1. Duplicate the part, pitch it down an octave, throw it into complex warp mode, and take out some of the lows and the reverb. Number 2, we're going to widen it. So check this out. Nice little acoustic part. So I recorded this just with a single microphone, and it's a single guitar, right? All right, so one of the tricks that I like to do is I'll grab a delay, and this is available even in intro, this delay right here. And now the trick is we're going to take them off of linking the left and the right. Now take it off of sync. One side, doesn't matter which side, we're going to turn it all the way down to 1 millisecond, and the other side somewhere between 10 and 20 milliseconds. Then I turn off the filter, dial my feedback all the way back, dry wet all the way up. Now we got much wider. Let's A-B it. If you got headphones on, you'll really notice. Very cool. So number 2, use a delay and create a 10 to 15 millisecond delay between your channels, and it widens it. Fatter tone. Wider tone, but still perceived as bigger and fatter. Okay, number 3, we're going to take the same part and we're going to duplicate it and have two different tones on it. So here's the original part. Cool, right? Little palm mute kind of thing with a tiny bit of delay. So let me duplicate it. And inside the tone is a rack that has a chain with a bunch of third-party stuff, which I spoke about in my DI tutorial a couple weeks ago. And what I'm going to do is grab Cloud's chord suite, which is made from all stuff you can get inside Suite. And there's a download for that inside that DI tutorial. So that sounds like this with a new tone. First thing you probably notice is it has a lot more reverb, so let me dial that back. Cool, so now what I'm going to do, let me pan this. 30 on the right, we'll do the original one, 30 on the left. Together, I think I'm going to have to bring this second one down. Definitely fatter, but I think we've probably lost the reference of how the original one sounds. So let me do this. Once again, I'm going to duplicate the first one, call it OG, put it back in the middle. Now I'm going to go up to my keyboard mapping menu, turn that on, and assign the track activators to number 1. Okay? So what that does is if I hit number 1 on my keyboard, it turns these tracks on and off. So let me turn the OG off. So in the flick of a switch, we can go back and forth between the OG and the new ones. So let's start with the OG. Now the new ones. Definitely fatter. And wider. So obviously you can affect EQ, compression, etc., reverb, and make them even more distinct from each other. So that's tip number 3, duplicate, and on the duplicate tone, find a new device to put on it to change up the timbre. Number 4, we're going to do some reverse chords. You can do this in any DAW or in Ableton Live Intro or Lite, so this is a nice one. So you see it's got all this sustain, which kind of allows the chords to die away, right? But what we could do is this kind of thing. I'm gonna duplicate this, then hit the letter R, and now we've reversed it. And I just keep doing that throughout. And what I can even do as well is I can get some more nuance here. I can do crossfades, so a little more elegant. Let's do one more here. So I've done this in a lot of my tracks. Ooh, I kind of messed up there. Let's see here. There we go. So we'll get that crossfade a little bit better. Let's try this one right from the transient. All right, so here's a good example of there wasn't a great halfway point because this comes in a little bit earlier. So what I can do is zoom in, bring it all the way to here. Now I hit reverse. Now I can extend this out, and do crossfade. So what we get is this kind of thing. So we get this perpetual sound kind of thing, so the sound of the guitar doesn't die out as much, which happens a lot because we don't have sustain pedals, or we're not a breath related instrument, so we can't just get the sustain. So this is another way to hack that without using tons of compression or anything. Last but not least, number 5, pitch hack. One of my favorite Max for Live devices. You need Sweet for this, but let me drag it in here. It's a Max for Live audio effect. First of all, let's just listen to our original guitar stem here. Cool. Now we can do pitch hack, which is a single line harmonizer and delay. What does that mean? Well, unlike the delay that we did in our widener, which had a left and a right, it's just a single, it's a mono, so we don't have any of these ping pongs back and forth. But what it does is it feeds into itself. So allow me to explain there. So how about we do an octave up, and then I'll do our dry wet here. So see how it's acting as a delay. The recycle is our feedback knob, so we'll get more delay taps. So now we can use our rate and our dry wet to get some nuance here. So if you get a fast enough rate, it sounds like a harmonized slapback delay. Let's try like 30-second notes. It's kind of wild, right? We could also do it down an octave instead. If I turn off the recycling, it just happens once. So it's kind of like what I did in example number 1. Now let's try this. I'm going to duplicate it. Let me turn it off on the first track so we have a dry. And the second one I'm going to make 100% wet, so we have essentially a dry wet here. What's this sound like? Kind of wild, kind of lo-fi. It could be used for some cool things. Another kind of fun thing to do is you can use it as a reverse delay. Let's put it up an octave there. And one other thing we could do is let's sidechain it to the original tone. So we're going to bring it down here. Okay. So we're going to sidechain it to pitch the first pitch hack. Cool, so there you have it. 5 ways to get fatter tone. Octave down, delay as the widener, a second track with different VST sounds on it, reverse envelopes, and pitch hack. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
Thanks for watching my dad's videos. His name's Dirk and he makes music as Cloudchord, like his hat.
I'm also a guitarist and Ableton certified trainer. Every Tuesday I upload new videos, so if you learned something, be sure to
like and subscribe. And his hat is really cool.